Welcome to the Patriot Hour. I'm Michael. It's 3:11:18 in the late hour in the evening. We're gonna do an update. Got a special little broadcast here tonight. Got Ben. He's gonna be beaming in through the software via on the line again. So we have interesting. We're gonna look for if there's any new Q posts. We will go over those, of course. If not, we're gonna break down a few. That was our plan. So we got a few in mind. Some of the newer ones. So stick around. We're going to get right into it. Welcome to the Patriot Hour. I am Michael, your host, and we have a special one for you tonight, folks. We got Ben coming in through the line, through the software. So however you want to, we're going to beam him in, with his video. So if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. Maybe at the end of the video, leave a comment, what you thought. Anything you could leave is great, folks. We really, really super appreciate all your comments, and we take them into consideration always and forever. So, all right, let's bring Ben in. Ben, can you hear us?
Yes, sir. Excited to be here tonight. Thank you for having me.
All right. It's always a pleasure to have you on when you can be on. We've had you on a couple other episodes, and I'm sure some of the viewers out there recognize you. So
exciting stuff, man. Yes, and exciting times for sure.
Most definitely. All right, I'm going to get, and I forgot to get
all kinds of stuff coming down. It's almost just so much to cover and getting in the whole meat of the things.
Yeah, I got to get a desktop capture up here for 2. Okay.
All the folks out there seeing what we see, so we can all start
I'll bring you up in
ingesting
7.
this information together.
I'll come up in 9. Not that 9. That 9. Okay.
So it was pretty interesting. Some of the latest things that's been going on, not even on the domestic level, but on the international level. Man, people running, scurrying, going to the continent of Africa and different countries in there. It's almost like it's a free for all. And man, it's I don't know, Mike. What are we gonna be getting into tonight?
Well, I got some. Let me bring these up a little bigger for the. All right. So we saw, where's that one? How about that? Look there. That would be post 940. It's right above and that came out at
I got
2029. What does that mean to you?
Well, it's the anti-fascist. Basically, you're talking that's the anti-fascism. That's something that I mean. We don't want fascism. That's where all the big businesses run our government, and our government's dictated by big business. So this was, what is it?
What it looks like the 2017. What is that? The paramilitary wing of the Democratic Party of America.
1933. Yeah, the Communist Party. Yeah, the parliamentary wing of the Communist Party in Germany. And the parliamentary wing of the Democratic Party of America. So we know that you just flip it the other way. What's left is right, what's right's left. They're using the same flag, the same logo. So is this Third Reich, before people actually, they always equate, Hitler with,
So this
was
is
the Third
all-
Reich and Hitler, but
But this is what the
This is when they were
Antifa is
coming when he was.
that we've been hearing about for, right? The Antifa movement, or
Well, yeah, well, this is the the anti-fascist action. This is like almost like it's a call for an uprising. Come on, we don't want big business, but big business is really behind the call for action. It's it's I would have to
well,
agree. There's a coincidence here.
yeah, it came out that George Soros, funded Antifa. Or was that, I don't know, he did that, or the Black Lives Matter. I think he had his hand in several of them.
I think the Black Lives Matter. I think he was one of the, I guess, organizations that he happens to sit on the board or whatever had definitely worked with that whole big push for that, which is interesting. It is. You start looking at this kind of stuff, and even on you see these pictures where, in their early 30s, this was happening here. I mean, think about, there was a time in America where we had the swastika draped across the Statue of Liberty.
Yeah. Well, and this
is this?
I mean,
this was obviously in Germany. What we're referring to here in the 33, of course, the Communist Party for Germany.
so some of these photos above my head, you see these here, post 9/41. I'm assuming these photos are from back in the day.
In the 30s, you're looking at, this is taken in Germany. This is where the communists, we're talking, this is the time where people still remember the Bolshevik revolution, and Stalin and all these different people. And, these are old black and whites from what you're showing here of, Das Abrüsten, that's all German, and I'm butchering this, but if I can read that, Das is the Aberjaken. It's like,
Ben
I don't
spent
know how to
some
translate
time over in
that.
Germany, didn't you?
Yeah, I was out in southern Germany, but we played all over there and other places for sure. And so that's when you start talking about that kind of stuff. This was what the Third Reich was, the propaganda they were basically promoting at the time, because Germany was all disenfranchised, was trying to had all much reparations to pay back. This was huge for these people, and
What do you
this was all coming in under the guise of
all set up for during the time of Hitler, or like this is what was set up, or no, this is different little movement, or was this?
Well, I think it was for the Third Reich. Hitler obviously was elected at the time. We're talking about was what in the 30s, 33s when the wing of the Communist Party, the anti-fascists, or whatever they ever pronounce that.
Yeah, let me. I'm just keeping these up, kind of showing.
No, this is just interesting because you look at where it's taken at. I mean, this is obviously a time before they had before they had colored photography. So this is not like, something that's new. So this has been around for a long time. And is this ugly propaganda beast, if you will, showing its ugly head again now, but just under new management, if you will. It's like this is the same old thing, but it's just under a new management and slapped on the mid 21st century. And is this what we're going through? And
now I'm looking at this here. This was from post 9/39, which was March 10th, folks. 1840, 6:40 p.m. 9:30 post 9/39 in the series. Now, Q didn't really post. He just kind of reposted another anonymous. So Hitler was a puppet of the controlling families of the New World Order? ? And Q just posted that, didn't really put anything. Now, if we go back to that original post here, and maybe we can get a little context out of this. So we'll wait for the page to load up, and then it'll jump, and we'll be able to tap into this a little bit.
Because definitely you get context before and after. Because if it's just nothing, he just posts and.
So all we get is wow.
Who's controlling?
Wow. Dubs confirm. Holy shit. It never made any sense. Homeless broken, the nationalist becomes that. Negative. A puppet that cut strings and got out of control. Roth Shield. Hasberg.
The Roth Shield, yeah. Oh, that's the Red Shield.
Hitler was a LARP. Hitler was a Roth puppet.
Live action rule. What?
Hope to see you and hear from you tonight at speech. That was. So, you want to read this one a little bit?
Well, this is what I can see, and I can't. It's not. I can't really come through my screen very well. I have, in the process of getting better machinery here.
Let me see if it comes in a little better.
Nah, it's still pretty degraded over here. But I mean,
Hold on.
I think about this, so during World War II, and we can even go back in World War One, but mostly World War II, you think about who was funding this stuff. If this is, Hitler was just a puppet. Well, where did he get all of his money from? Where did the Third Reich get all of their money from and propped up? And then when the bombs started dropping, who was profiting off the bandages and who was profiting off the ammunition? There we go. Yeah, it comes in super clear now.
Okay, go ahead now, buddy.
Yeah, okay, so how accurate would you say? The Bush family were German nobility, the descent from the Bush family. The Bush family ruled by feudal lords in the region of Ravensburg and Ansbruck, located in Westphalia. The House of Bush and several family branches of the Holy Roman Empire and the Bush family are one of them. Now, folks, this is something that this has been well known for a long time. This is in our history books, but this is not something that's widely disseminated. People change their last name all the time to basically revamp themselves, if you will, to come out in the public. And we'll keep on reading on because this has got major little tidbits, and if we're reading too fast, definitely go back, slow this down, because some of this stuff is amazing. So, and what's that? There it is. Okay, so basically the German word for bush is Busch, or Busch, in the region of Amsbrock. It was governed by the Catholic Prince Bishop, now of course Roman Catholic, which were given the authority by the Pope of Rome. So at that time, you're talking, this is the highest authority in the land. They control, they control the military, they control the money, they control, and so, okay, so the movement protesting against the Roman papal authority rose up in Ansbach. So they brought in the Jesuits to combat the protesters of Rome. Now, these are the same people who started the Inquisition. These were people who actually were running it, the managers of it. And the very first part of the Inquisition, the Jesuits couldn't get it done. Pope took it away from them, gave it to the Spanish, and we now know the Inquisition is the Spanish Inquisition, the second part.
Yes.
So
now, this Jeb Bush that they're talking about,
okay,
is that the Jeb that we know? Jeb Bush is a Roman Catholic?
Yes. No, you got to understand. A lot of these people are all served. They're all served under the Queen. So let's keep on reading here and to see what it says in here. So the University of Amsbrook was entered into a Jesuit university for a short period of time. Jeb Bush is a Roman Catholic convert and a fourth-degree Knights of Columbus. The Adolphus Bush was an ancestor of the former Bush family of Westphalia, and the co-founder of the Anheuser-Busch Beer Company. Hey, wow. Very interesting, very interesting. So the Bush family were also intermarried with the German-Dutch royalty, like the House of Lippe, or Lippe, however that's pronounced. The Pierce name for the Barbara Pierce Bush comes from was the Percy family, who were British peers, the Dukes of the Northumberland. So that's a whole crazy thing you can get in worse there. But the Bush family were basically the royal. Ooh, hey! I was going into that. I was in a row. Sweet. Let's see here. The Bush family were basically a royal family from the United States coming over. Because we're still a crowned nation with where we serve and blah, 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 blah. So the family states were working as basically princes under the authority of the House of Windsor, which had German ancestry. So George Herbert Walker
Walker
Bush
Bush.
is a knight of the house. There you go. Was a House of Windsor, Order of the Bath, and the Bath is basically a place in Germany. It's a district. Different districts back in the day had different orders, and they're this and that. And this is he comes from the House of the Bath. It's a very ancient order, by the way.
Oh yeah.
King Henry the Eighth of the House of Windsor was a Nazi supporter. Axel von Dim Busch was a Nazi soldier who planned to quote-unquote assassinate Adolf Hitler, which was just another one of the many lies told by this wicked family, similar to the weapons of mass destruction
Correct.
rhetoric, a discourse that was basically fed to you and I's generation of the weapons of mass destruction in Iraq.
Yes,
The German
folks,
royalty
they
and
never did
normal
find that.
families helped. No, yes, no. Of course, nothing was there.
The German royal
So it goes on to
and
say that
noble
the German
families-
royalty,
Okay, you got to go ahead.
oh yeah, helped create Hitler and the Nazi movement, because the Nazi movement, for sure, started way before Hitler was even coming to power. The Windsor family changed their name under King George V, who was from the House of Glucksburg, the House of Saxe-Coburg and Gotha, and both of these families were involved with the Nazis. And if you look back, the Saxons, these are people who are still on Wall Street today, trading under very similar sounding names.
Yes. Let me take this right
so
here. This
we
is
also know.
interesting.
Go ahead.
Prescott
Yes,
Bush's
take it. I see it.
Union, Prescott Bush's Union Banking Corporation was holding gold for the Nazis and was shut down under the Trading with the Enemy Act. Vanguard
gosh.
Development, Prescott Bush, George Herbert Walker Bush, and George Bush were all initiated into the Skull and Bones secret society at Yale. The Nazi SS used the Skull and Bones symbol. The Skull and Bones secret society at Yale is a military council, in which is why George Bush Sr. started the Gulf War and George Bush Jr. started the wars in Afghanistan and Iraq. The Skull and Bones also use military and war for recruiting soldiers into the paramilitary death squads, which are used inside the United States for covert, prosecutions and assassinations. Probably with
We still use that death head today.
Yes. No, that was and again, folks, this let's get back that open there where we kind of it's touchy. Let me see. Okay, so again, this is an Anon who, we're kind of just reading that there, not to, and I'm pretty sure lots of that I've heard about, and I'm sure you, Ben, we've done a lot of research in the past. And
This seems like it's a little bit of a history globbed together of. We knew that the kings who supported this goes back. It's so hard to say, well, what side supported what and what side supported the other. I mean, you're talking these people had their hand in Germany and that land well before the Nazis came into power. We know that we have to be careful when one hand is shaking vigorously and everybody's watching that one hand. We have no idea what the other one is doing secretly behind your back. So we have to be very careful. And this right here is just a little historical blip to give you kind of a run-up of what's going on right now. And these are where these people, this is where their ancestry comes from. And so if this is what's happening now, we can see this anti-fascist action, and we can see that they've already done this in the past. The Bush, I mean, we know that the common person is not going to recognize that the Anheuser-Busch company is somehow related from back in the ancestry time from the Bush, and how it's, I mean, spelling's different. I mean, this is some amazing stuff, and what they're going on and doing with is pretty scary stuff, really. If we're getting into this to be what's happening, and we're trying to compare what happened in yeah, look at with this Gatling gun and whatnot. If we're trying to compare what's happening in like 1933, 1940, 1939 area to what's happening today, and they're using the same propaganda, we got to be very careful. And
Okay,
these,
what do you think
I mean,
about
look at this. Look,
these?
start right here. So this is a Roman Catholic church right here, and so they're coming in, and they're doing this, and they're in support. And a lot of this, these Heil Hitler signs, a lot of the Nazis didn't start this Heil Hitler. This came from these secret societies in these Order of the Bath
Okay.
and the Order of the, of the Knights of Malta, the Knights of Columbus. If you look at a lot of people who are in power, who Q is actually kind of pointing to, you stop, they all belong to some type of order. And people think, oh, they're Knights
Read
of
this.
Malta.
Read
It's the
that one.
Moose Lodge,
936. I'll let Ben read it here.
936.
This was March 10th at 1807, folks. 1807. That's 6:07 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the 10th of March. So just yesterday. Go ahead, Ben.
It basically says the Nazi order, NWO. N in brackets does not refer to new, the sum of all fears. But that's a nuclear thing. We know North Korea, POTUS, hostage threat, disarm, stage set, freedom. Now the N doesn't refer to new, so is that Nazi world order? And referring to the ones, some of the latest
Now,
stuff, it was referring to the Neuerlecht,
I think getting
Weissschaftsschulsrung.
into something here where whatever's in capital, like see how hostage, threat, but then
Yes, the
disarm is all capital.
TNPHT, call cap, and then the S on the
Freedom.
stage, and then the SET.
Yeah. So now maybe like freedom, set, disarm, POTUS. I don't know.
POTUS, disarm, set freedom. Like what was it go like, POTUS,
yeah,
or North Korea, POTUS, disarm, set
New
freedom.
World. That doesn't. N does not refer
The
to
Nazi
new.
world order.
The Nazi order. Okay.
So it's more of the
The
Nazi order, the Nazi world order.
Okay. So maybe nothing there, but what else we got here? Let's go.
Still,
to,
it's these people are still wanting to take over the. Their agenda has been the same, and if it's coming on to the 21st century here in 2018,
What does this one tell you here?
definitely be
925 in the series. March 10th, 1449. So yesterday at 2:49 p.m., roughly in the afternoon, 1449. This is not about religions or party affiliation, period. Evil is everywhere, period. There are no drawn lines, period. No boundaries, period. Good versus evil, period. Q. That's pretty blatant,
that is pretty blatant. I mean, religion is basically man's attempt to put a finite meaning into something that's infinite. We have no idea. So when he was like, there is no religion. This is no party affiliation. Evil. Yeah, it's saying he's probably, and I'm only speculating here. When he says there's no religion, no party affiliation, evil is reverse. There's no, evil is everywhere. This is some.
Read some of these. I'm gonna
Doesn't
touch
care
on.
who you are. Yep, got it. Q. Got that one. Got it. Q. Yeah, I guess that's the one way we need to expand our thinking. Okay. GVB and Cooper too. Let's not forget them. Oh, okay. Yeah, oh, that's true. Oh, Bill Cooper, William Cooper. Exactly. Yes. Go with light versus darkness. They feed off our fear. They want us scared. People need to wake up and unite for the sake of humanity. And that's all good. So Republicans and conservatives adopted spirit cooking, Abrahamic connection. That's the Maria. That's the spirit cooking and putting Christ alone. Amen to that. Understood. I think she's a leader of a Hollywood cabal, child sex trafficking, abuse, etc. No more multiple parties, please. Name tags are a tool to divide us. Interesting. Supposedly a bastard Rockefeller. Please let it be. Oh, the crazy mountain, the missing in, goes on and on. Damn right, we're here to get on. Well, here we go.
All right. I choose to stand with God bless Donald J. Trump and God bless the United States of America. Magma. Make America great again. We will follow you through hell, Q. Let's kick some ass. All right. Let me click that out. Ooh. Nope, that's nothing new. Thought we had something new in here. Okay, we're way down. So what maybe what's this one here to you? 932. 1655.
The creation of the internet and the connecting platforms is bringing about their downfall, failure to control. MSM, we know, is dead. Internet Bill of Rights.
Hashtag.
Hashtag, the creation of the internet and the connecting platforms is bringing about their downfall. Well, that's IT infrastructure. The internet itself has always been an open and distributed network from day one. If anybody knows anything about the internet, when you're watching this video right now, how it's coming to whatever medium you're watching it on, it's open and distributed. And to think that they can control that is insanity. So that it's something that it's out of control when it comes to the amount of information. If you're able to hear this and see this and watch this video we're doing, thus therefore this information has gotten out because of the way the internet is actually originally was engineered, was designed. And, a little tech history, for a little fun for all you guys out there. Look up who kind of started the internet, like did a little coding on it, and he wanted to make sure everybody had an equal amount of stuff on it. And
they're breaking this
nobody
down. The
was going to be able to,
not just for Americans, but it will benefit the whole world. I mean, everyone would have to adapt or adopt their own version.
Yeah, I mean, there's laws in place now. Like let's say Twitter. Twitter's in. It's in countries all over the world, and there's certain countries that have their different laws that you can and can't do, and you can't post, and there's certain things. So Twitter, if they're going to post, let's say in Great Britain, they have certain contractual laws that they have to abide by, that their content is in Great Britain, and that's different than their content that has to be abide by here in America. And so if you have Twitter, let's say in South Korea, Twitter has to abide by some of the content laws and some of the things to that country. So Twitter, this proposed Internet Bill of Rights, this is really for about America and Americans. Now, if it would be an awesome thing if everybody got together and there was a treaty, which is not so much a law, but a treaty that says we're all going to function under these assumed freedoms that everybody on the internet should have. And I that would be super awesome. I think it's going to be great for Americans. Obviously, if we have something here that's going to say protect us, but again, we're hoping that more of other countries do get on board. I know that other countries do currently have some type of Internet Bill of Rights or some type of outline of the end users' protection rights. Places like Brazil and these places, they have same thing. You're not allowed to take their information and turn around and sell it. And so there's a lot of other countries things involved as well. So this can only be a good thing for us, and hopefully make us aware of what's also happening on the internet, because the internet's just not in America. It's all over God's earth.
Everywhere. Yes. So there's definitely laws that are getting placed in, or people are going to have to decide. Like I said in my other episode, I had an episode on this, but the internet's moved so quick, and the companies at certain points have stopped and lobbied and brought up things that protect them and implemented things all along the way. But us on our side, we haven't really stopped long enough to think like, hey, all along the way they've gotten more intrusive, more into embedding and trying to trick us into AdSense and really build this whole manipulative ad building up around you. And all we're asking for is the opportunity to opt out of that, or possibly opt in if you're into that and that makes life convenient for you. There's no issue with that. That would possibly be something for you to be able to opt in for then and continue along the path that we're already basically kind of living in. How much worse can it get?
But I
I
agree.
don't know.
Have the option to. I agree. I would choose the opt out of that one if I had the option. If they gave you the options, like, hey, there's different ways. Yes, hey, let's
myself
choose.
as well. Yes, I'd
I want
probably
to. I want to
opt
protect
out on a lot of things.
my information. We see that coming on for sure. So this is some really interesting stuff, and I mean, we with going over what was happening tonight. It's not the New World Order that we all, which is a buzzword. That's that word. It's been out for a long time. We've heard prior presidents and administration leaders use that buzzword, New World Order. And this is interesting if it's going to be a Nazi world order or a Third Reich world order, because you remember, the Third Reich came about when the country was in need of somebody to pull them together and make them cohesive and industry and all this kind of stuff. And the downfall of the Germans was they could not produce the food to feed all their countrymen. So they had to import most of their food. And through this, they were able to squeeze out through embargoes and trade agreements to where at one point in time, the Germans, they created a lot of great things and they had a lot of exports, but they had to import food because they couldn't create it domestically. And this is the kind of stuff that these parties started creeping up because they couldn't, people were screaming for, look at, man, we're starving over here. We're having to pay back all of these reparations from world, from all this kind of stuff. And it was people were really, they were pissed off. They wanted to become a patriot for their own country and for their own land they live in.
It doesn't
and
just
they
exist
were
here,
they were
folks.
very easily fooled. Yeah, they were fooled in many aspects because they're preaching, you're going to be happy. Everybody's going to be rich, and we're going to do this together. And under the guise of the prosperity, but under the guise of World War II. So,
Exactly,
it's.
So we're at the 30-minute mark, a little over. We're probably going to cut this one here. We're going to be back here with part 2. We're probably going to get into another little realm. So we'll have Ben back here in a minute. So Ben, stick around. We'll be right back here shortly.
And we'll delve more into this stuff for sure.
All right, folks. Again, this is the Patriot Hour. I'm Mike. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe, like, share, take a look around the description box. We always put up the links of what we go over in the description box, so definitely check that out. Again, share, turn on, your friends if they're into the truth and into possibly being on the forefront of this right before a lot of truth is going to get poured out. It's already coming. They're giving numbers of 25 plus million reach now, where a month or two ago we're just over 1 million. So Mike from the Patriot Hour, we'll be right back with a kind of a part 2 of this. We're probably going to get into something else for sure, or move along. We were just tapping in, folks. We're trying to break some down slowly to you so you can digest it as well as us. All right, stick around.